Welcome to the Big Money Podcast. I am Janine Hurd, here to guide you to scale your business from 7 to 8 figures and building wealth that lasts for generations. Get ready for audacious strategies, real talk, and next level business moves. So let's dive in today's episode. Hey, powerful genius. Welcome back to another episode of your all-time favorite podcast, the Big Money Podcast. I have some major announcements. I am pumped. I'm excited. I'm hyped. I feel really a new era of the Rich and Happy brand is starting. The Easy Millionaire is officially being launched, and this has been my baby. I've been working on really the last year almost, and I feel once you birth an idea, once you birth a program, something big, all of a sudden it's it's so obvious, it's so crystal clear. But in this process, it feels like nothing is clear. Like you're walking through this fog and you wonder just where the heck it takes you. So if you're new to my world, you don't know this about me. So I'm going to go back a little bit in history. And so I was always fascinated by money, big amounts of money and what you can do with that. So little do I have to say that the pretty obvious step for me was to go to university and get a bachelor and master's degree in international business with a major in controlling. So afterwards, I started in investment banking. I was helping companies to become listed on the public stock exchange, so-called IPO. Moving a lot of money, being surrounded by millions, multi-millions was my natural vibe. It literally it was always 150K, 38K. The smallest denominator I had in my field was thousands, just always abbreviated with a K. So big money was always really natural to me. And also seeing what companies are charging in consulting. And I'm cool. So I started my business and I didn't know anything. That was 6 years ago, 6.5 years ago about online marketing. I just knew everything about corporate marketing. And obviously I had to learn everything about online marketing just like you are, because when you start promoting yourself, it's not just only about your coaching skills and how talented you are. It is definitely also about the packaging, how you portray this to the outside world, right? So I started, and what is so often what we do when we are new to an area, in this case, me, online marketing, we get advice from other people that have been there. And when we don't have the self-reflection, we just take this inwards and accept it as a given. Instead of asking really, does this really work for me? Does this feel aligned to me? Let me contemplate. I was not there when I started. I thought other people who had massive success online, they know what they're talking about. This is the only path. Let me follow. So there was selling so-called lunch and learn paid webinars for 39 euros and already made a couple $1,000s, I think between 2,000 and 4,000 euros every month, which for me back then was insane. Just one webinar was already a lot of money, where I'm oh wow, this is wild. And then was my first launch, and that was of a higher coaching package, I would say. I think it was 1,500 euros or 2,000, something like that. And I sold for 25,000 or 30,000 in one day with the upsell after a paid webinar. And I'm oh my gosh, what's happening? I can remember this day like it was yesterday. I got really drunk afterwards. A big, massive celebration was still part in my life where I was drinking a lot of alcohol, and we popped a bottle of champagne, and that was insane. I'm this is really a whole new window opened. And I really allowed myself this first year to charge the prices I naturally felt for the service I'm providing, for the life-changing experiences people are having in my world and what they're learning. And I always saw it. Everybody I helped, sometimes people think why would I invest 10, 20, 30K into my business, especially in the beginning when I don't have the money? It doesn't make sense. And I think it's so interesting, this thinking, because it's basically saying, hey, I'm opening up a restaurant, but I think it's not worth it to put anything inside. I'm opening up a restaurant and actually I'm just going to put the cheapest stuff inside the restaurant and people can sit on the floor on pillows. It's not going to work like this. So when we're opening up a physical business, there is quite a lot of debt, or we have to go in debt, like make minus right in the beginning, in order to set everything up, in order to have a restaurant where people love to spend money and love to come back and tell their friends about. And wouldn't you agree? The more details we have, the more quality we have in the design, in the food, in the people, in the chefs, like literally everything. The higher the prices we can charge, the more likely it is people are coming back. The more people really have an experience and not just like McDonald's French fries. And the same is true when we start opening up an online business. You have to learn, you have to invest those amounts because it's your restaurant. And many people saying like, nah, I'm just so scared. I want the millions. And once I have the millions, but it's not working like that. So I made a lot of very uncomfortable decisions from the beginning in skills I wanted to learn, which I saw were super relevant, which included online marketing, online sales, social media, becoming a better coach. Till today, I am still investing in becoming a better coach. Right now, I've invested so much learning about AI, how AI can enhance my skills, how AI can enhance helping you receive better and faster results in your business, and it's blowing my mind. And I will never stop because technology, things are evolving, and I think it's very important as a business to evolve with new trends and react to new trends. And it's even a decision to decide, hey, I'm not reacting to this trend. It's a decision to say, hey, I'm not using AI. Hey, it's a decision, like not to upgrade the menu in a restaurant and just always do the same thing over and over and over again. And that will always work for a little bit. But we all know the restaurants which look the same from like 40, 50, 20 years ago. And we know that there are a lot of people that don't like to go to those restaurants. And there are some people that just go to the same restaurants over and over and over again. So you just can contemplate for yourself which type you are. So coming back to my evolution, I immediately realized the more money we invest out of our comfort zone, and that's not a total amount, I got pretty crystal clear what is out of my dream client's comfort zone. And those were the prices I started charging. So I started charging for my coaching packages 10, 15, 35, 50, 100, 150K, 250K, $500,000. And I personally loved the price points and I loved the women that were in those rooms and the transformations that were happening. Many people also talked to me and said, like, I can't afford this. I don't even know how to pay my rent. Yeah, I'm like so much in debt. And I'm like, I couldn't really resonate with those women. I always thought it's like, yeah, you're just like negative self-talk, kind of like, if you listen to my old, I'm not sure, I think it's not online anymore, but if you would listen to my old content, you kind of can see like, oh, this is just me saying very simply, oh, this is just a victim mentality. This is just a victim mentality. I was also in debt when I had student loans, To be honest, I just haven't had a lot of empathy with it because I'm always like a goal getter, a maker. I'm like, I get my ass up. Like I do things, I evolve. To be honest, I just haven't had a lot of empathy with that. And what has happened is things have changed for me in the last 2 years. I feel like I've personally grown the most as a human being. And I really had to experience this complete new cycle to become an even better coach for the world and to have even more empathy to serve more people, which are coming really from different financial backgrounds. So my business grew very fast. I made my first million in sales within the first 12 months. Afterwards, like 2, 3, 5 million years were normal. So I think we have now 24, end of 23, I've decided I really had this call of like, I want more, like bigger. And the space where I was in, the German-speaking market, just felt too small for me. I felt like I was pushed in a box, trying to be small when all I wanted to was like I don't want to say take over the world, but just do something bigger. And I started this journey and I didn't know anything about it and never ever would do this again without being in coaching with someone who did go on this transformation. Never ever again. So where I would say, okay, I don't want to say one of my biggest business mistakes, but definitely something I would do different. So there it was, and I just thought, okay, I'm gonna just switch to English and the world's gonna be ready, and that's it. This is not how it was. I've lost the majority of my community. First of all, there were still many German speakers who speak a little bit of English, but not good enough that they would say, I'm comfortable to be in an English-speaking coaching. Or said, like, my English is not good enough, I can't follow it all. Then there were some people that said, oh, I only listen to native speakers, blah, 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 blah. So to make it short, I lost quite, I would say 80-90% of my community. And I didn't build like a smooth transformation, so there were no new people. So basically also I've lost maybe 70% of my revenue. I have to check the numbers, but definitely more than 50%. And all of a sudden I found myself in a situation where like 300, 400K months were my standard, going down to like a 25K month for a couple of months in a row. And I can tell you, I mean, some of you are going to say like, oh, 25K months is still a lot. But it's kind of like wherever you are, it's like, imagine you're at 25,000, all of a sudden you just make 2,500, or you're at $2,500 dollar month, and now you make 250. Can you see, like, the gap is just very uncomfortable. I didn't understand the world. Like, I'm like, what is happening? I didn't really know how to turn it down. So this was happening. At the same time, I was living in the US, like, I was just waiting for my final green card. It was in the final stages. All of a sudden, I found out that the attorney who filed for me, she did something she was not allowed to. Didn't know about it. It doesn't matter if other people do it. You are responsible. And I had to leave the US within 2 weeks. I have my house there. Like, I have my home there. I have all my belongings there. Little did I find out afterwards, I left in 2 weeks because I just stick to the rules. I'm like, it's important to me. I love the US. It's my home. It's like I don't mess with the authorities. So I'm like doing everything they expected from me. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to figure this out. Little did I know that this was quite a massive failure this attorney did for me, and I can't enter the US for 3 years. Oh, time is almost over, almost time to go back home. And trust me, I am more than ready. I'm more than excited to do that. But come back here. So this was another major life change for me that has happened right at the same time. So I kind of felt like I've lost my home for a little bit. Kind of felt like I lost my old business, aka old revenue. Although I didn't like it, all of a sudden I was craving it again, right? Kind of like a toxic relationship. You know, it's not good, but the moment you don't have it anymore, part in your nervous system is telling you, I'm like, I want this back. Even when you know it's not healthy. So there's just a lot of things happening to my nervous system I haven't experienced in the past in that intensity. And really told my story that this would mean something. And it took me almost 1.5 years, almost 2 years, 1.5, I would say, really to contemplate, wow, every month, like, what are the lessons learned here? And why is this so big? And one of the things is, first of all, I shared this with you, the empathy, right? Having empathy for people in different financial situations I haven't been in. It's very cool now to have this experience. I'm like, oh, this is how it feels. Oh, this is how you can navigate through it. This is how you can come out of a financial low, even if you've been in a financial low for a longer period of time. And the other part also back then was, in this whole journey, I never wanted to charge lower ticket prices. Like, if I've asked, like, I always ask myself, like, God, what would you have me charge? And it was always the prices I had back in the day. Till I started switching to English, I really received those lower ticket prices in my world to where I came from, of like doing something for 22, 200, 500, 1,000, 11. I've never, 2,000, 3,000, never offered anything like this before. And I never wanted to charge those prices because I thought, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so cheap. Like, nah. I don't want this. My ego was like, no, I don't want this. But my soul was saying, no, it's time to do this. And again, the lesson learned was like, wow, first of all, to see how those smaller payments can add up and still create something big. And also to see and meet the woman for who it is uncomfortable to invest those amounts. So it's really cool for me to have this experience of building a business on like lower ticket prices, or like, I want to say low ticket prices, and going for more people, right, to create the same financial result versus creating like a high ticket business and maybe have less people, it depends, or lesser than I had, and work with a different type of woman, someone who has more energy, is more all in at a different stage in their business, most likely. And it's so cool that I've always followed this through. I really tried both business modules and really coming back, I feel, to my old self. These are my prices. This is what I'm charging. And this is what's happening. And I love this so much to, in a nutshell, Rich and Happy is going back to its prices of what you know me before, of 5K, 10K, 20, 50, 100, 250K. And dropping all the other low price offers. Simply, it doesn't feel aligned anymore when I tuned in, when I do my monthly downloads. This is what I've received. It's really time to. And this is just what I wanted to share with you, that it's so important to follow your heart, to follow your soul, that even when you feel like this, like you receive an impulse, which was for me to build a ticket on a business on low ticket, lower prices, right? Charging anything below $1,000, $2,000. Maybe your soul says, no, I don't want to, but you follow through because you see it's an impulse, just to come out at the end from the cycle to understand, oh, this is what I don't want to do anymore. But now you have the experience. And again, like I was saying this to my husband Edward today and my mom, who's currently visiting me in Italy, that I am just so grateful for the last 2 years. They've been the toughest on a personal level, the most uncomfortable on a business level. And for my own, like for my growth as a teacher and what I can teach now about business modules, it's literally insane. It's insane on also my level of empathy for other people, for other people's financial situations. And really to see, for those of you who are in financial fear right now, how it can feel in your nervous system, how it kind of can bring you in the survival mode, and also how to come out of it. I'm just so grateful. It's all I can say. And I just want to share at the end one thing which is going to be new. Like, I've created so many new things which we're going to roll out in literally in the next month. And one big thing which is already open right now, and I wanted to share with you, and you will hear me talking about this literally in every podcast episode, is there's not going to be a paid podcast or the paid podcast episode. You can't just join them anymore. All those offers are non-existing anymore. However, if you still want to be in the rich and happy world and start your easy millionaire journey, I've created something which I think is just so insane. And it's called the Rich Woman's Room. And it will include a couple of things. First of all, we've had the heart opener session and money activations, always like kind of like a meditation activation, downloading from the field. And people really requested those back. I'm like, I love them. I love the recordings, but just coming live to those sessions really changed something for me. So in the Rich Woman's Room, you have access to obviously the library, which we're building now, but also every month there's going to be a live money activation. It's always going to be on the last Wednesday of the month. The other part is obviously you have access to the private podcast episodes. There's still going to be 3 every week. And then there are a couple cool things which you haven't heard about. First of all, we are adding a private Rich Woman chat room. Many of you have asked about this, to have a community. So this is just for you to share your wins, your celebrations. You will also receive frequently impulses from me if I feel like, hey, energetically something important is happening. Many of you were in Revenue on Repeat, where I was sharing my feminine money rituals. So expect something like this in there. And of course, we're having the big money hotline where you just can drop any of your money and sales questions and you will get direct answers from me in the private podcast. In the Rich Woman's Room, also you will have a VIP and exclusive access to new programs and offers before they're coming. So just being in there for those VIP access, it's already worth it. And the other part, I thought about this for so long, how I'm bringing this to you. And I'm talking about it so much in my content is really using AI. And especially in the last year when sometimes mentally I wasn't feeling too well or not how I wanted to, I really used AI and created many chatbots actually that can find out, for instance, your deepest subconscious money beliefs, money blocks you have, and also create really affirmations and like solutions, very personalized. So also we are having another AI intensive in which I'm going to show you how to create a luxury brand in under 2 hours. I've created a bot that asks you a lot of questions about you, your life, everything you've done. And based on that, it comes up with a business, price points, dream clients. So it's so cool. And yeah, it's really amplified my genius. I love technology. I love trying new things. And for a very long time, I thought like, how can I bring this to you? Because for me, I'm insane at creating a really powerful ChatGPT prompt. And I thought, okay, I want to take this one level farther ahead. So I've started creating all those they're called custom GPTs. It's a chat bot for all the work I've done. And the results I'm receiving, it's just blowing my mind. It's having access 24/7 to Janine, but Janine, the mindset coach, Janine, the business coach, plus the knowledge of AI and everything that's available. And it just really, really, really blows my mind. It amplifies my genius like I never could have imagined. And I will not create a single program without using AI, because how fast you receive access in real time, it just unbelievable. So as part of the Rich Woman's Room, there is going to be a Rich Woman AI Fridays. And in those AI Fridays, either I'm showing you live how I'm using ChatGPT and walk you through something we will create together every Friday, or you get a new topic, something new, like how do I create social media content for a whole week based on my offer suite. It's not just a prompt, it's a complete workflow, how I use ChatGPT in my business, but also in my life and customer support. There's so many different areas. So I'm really, really excited. This is going to be included in the Rich Woman's Room. And I hope you are as excited as I am. Can't wait to see you in there. And also, this is really our entry-level offer. I want as many of you in there because it's really going to be the community of Rich and Happy. It's going to be your place. And I'm just guiding this a little bit. And it's only $222 a month. You can cancel anytime after 3 months. Or it's $2,222 for the full year. Obviously, this is for women who are all in. If you know me, if you know you want this, can't wait. The links are in the show notes below. And I can't wait to see you in the Rich Woman's Room. I feel this is a room you have to be in if you are a rich woman, if you are ready to really create your first 6-figure months. This is the goal in the Rich Woman's Room. We focus all on creating 100K months. If you're growing from 10K to 100K, this is really the place for you. I love you. You've got this. I'm so excited for everything new that's coming, and I can't wait to continue this journey with you. That's a wrap, big money makers. If you're ready to take your business to the next level, join the Mastery Club. Simply DM me podcast on Instagram or hit the link in the show notes, and I will see you tomorrow and on Friday for the next episodes. Always remember, your 8-figure business is waiting for you right now.